Is this a test of patience or just a joke? You ever step into a place and feel like you're not even there? Not in some deep, philosophical, we're all just specks of dust floating in the void kind of way, but literally like you're standing, breathing, existing, and yet no one notices you? Yeah, that was today. His name? Jerome Wilson. 47 years old. Insanely successful. But in this moment, completely invisible. The craziest part? This wasn't just any hotel. This was a crown jewel of a massive hospitality empire. His empire. A 5-star, will treat you like royalty kind of place, where a single night costs more than some people's monthly rent. And yet here he stood, right at the front desk, waiting, like some stray off the street, just hoping someone would acknowledge him. And the reason for his visit? Not a vacation. Not a business meeting. Complaints, lots of them. Not just one or two random issues, but a steady, unignorable stream. Guests feeling disrespected. Staff with bad attitudes. Rooms mysteriously unavailable to certain customers. Now, he could have handled it the easy way, called management, scheduled an internal audit, thrown some corporate jargon at it, and hoped the problem magically disappeared. But Jerome? He wasn't that kind of boss. Problems like this? They didn't fix themselves. They needed to be dragged into the light. So, he showed up. No fancy suit. No limo. No entourage. Just another guy checking in for the night. And that's when he got to experience his own hotel's world-class service, firsthand. Behind the desk was a 20-something blonde named Kim. And her entire posture screamed that she didn't give a single damn. She was leaned back, phone in hand, scrolling, texting, whatever it was people did when they were actively avoiding eye contact. Jerome stood there, waiting. He cleared his throat. Nothing. Tapped the desk. Still nothing. All right. Excuse me? Kim let out the loudest sigh, like he'd just asked her to move a mountain. Slowly, she dragged her gaze up, blinking like he'd just materialized out of thin air. Yeah. Not welcome to our hotel. Not how can I help you? Just yeah. Like he was an inconvenience. Jerome kept his voice even. I have a reservation. Jerome Wilson. She barely suppressed a smirk as she turned to her computer, typing with the enthusiasm of a sedated sloth. Yeah, nope. Don't see it. Jerome arched a brow. You sure about that? Pretty sure she didn't even look before going right back to her phone, like that was the end of the conversation. And that's when he knew. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a system error. This was deliberate. She took one look at him and decided, nah. Not worth my time. Jerome sighed, keeping his face neutral. All right. Check again. Kim rolled her eyes but humored him, tapping lazily. Nope. Still nothing. Sorry. She wasn't sorry. She was bored. Jerome pulled out his phone, scrolled to his confirmation email, and held it up. I have my booking right here. Kim barely glanced at it. Yeah, well, the system doesn't lie. Neither does my damn email. Another sigh. Look, sir, maybe you made a mistake. It happens. Maybe you booked the wrong location. Happens all the time. Jerome tilted his head. Oh, so, you're saying I'm lost? That condescending little smirk spread across her face, the one people use when they think they're talking to an idiot. I'm saying it's an easy mistake to make. Jerome inhaled slowly, deeply. And if I wasn't lost? If my reservation was here, all along? She shrugged. Then I guess the system glitched. Oh, he knew this system. It didn't glitch. But people did. And the way she refused to meet his eye? The way she wouldn't double-check? The way she dismissed him so damn easily? Yeah, he'd seen this before. Silent rules of customer service, where some people's mistakes got corrected and others got conveniently ignored. Most days he let it slide. Pick your battles, right? But today? Oh, today was different. Jerome pulled out his second phone, the one with full access to the internal system. A few taps later, there it was. His reservation. Booked. Confirmed. Then, just out of curiosity, he checked the activity log. And there it was. Reservation manually deleted. Deleted by Kim, front desk clerk. Bingo. Jerome looked up at her name tag, suppressing a smirk. Kim. She didn't even glance up, still glued to her phone. He took a slow, deliberate breath, forcing a smile. Tell me something, Kim. She hummed, barely listening. What happens when you delete a reservation? She barely looked up. Oh, it just removes it from the system. No big deal. Jerome nodded. And who has the ability to do that? She shrugged. Only front desk staff, obviously. Like, myself? And tell me, Kim, why the hell did you delete my reservation? Her eyes flickered to the screen. And for the first time tonight, she looked nervous. Her face lost a little color. Jerome leaned in slightly, voice dropping just enough to make her squirm. Go ahead, Kim. Explain. Her mouth opened.
Closed.
No words came out. For the first time all night, she was completely speechless. And damn, was it satisfying. Jerome had seen a lot in his life. But this? Oh, this was a whole new level. And as he watched her panic, he knew this was about to be one hell of a night. He wanted to go off. He wanted to let every single person in this overpriced, marble-covered lobby know exactly what had just happened. Call it out, make a scene, turn heads. Oh, the temptation.
But no.
Not yet. This needed finesse. So instead, he did the opposite of what Kim expected. He leaned on the counter, calm as ever, and smiled. Here's what's going to happen, Kim. She swallowed hard. You're going to find me a room. Right now. For a second, she hesitated, probably considering whether she could still weasel her way out of this. But one look at his face, at the sheer, unshakable patience in his stare, and she knew. There was no escape. Her hands flew to the keyboard. He could hear the panic in the way she typed, quick, nervous, all shaky-fingered and desperate. You, okay? She muttered under her breath. Speak up. I found a room. Of course you did. She snatched a key card, shoved it across the counter, still avoiding eye contact like it might burn her. Here you go, sir. But Jerome didn't touch it. Which room? Kim hesitated. Too long. 1427. Jerome sighed.
Oh.
Of course. The worst damn room in the building. See, Kim thought she was slick. Room 1427? That was by the elevators, next to the maintenance closet, facing the dumpsters out back. He knew that because, surprise, surprise, he designed this damn place. He knew every room in this hotel, the layout, the views, the subtle hierarchy of comfort. And this was textbook pettiness. Jerome tilted his head. Kim. She flinched slightly. Do I look stupid to you? Her face twisted. No, Then why the hell are you trying to play me like I don't know exactly what you just did?
Dead.
Silence. The lobby, which had been humming with quiet conversations and background music, was suddenly too still. People were listening, watching. A couple on the couches nearby glanced over, pretending not to eavesdrop. A bellboy in the corner suddenly got very interested in adjusting his little hat. Jerome slowly picked up the key card. He gave Kim one last lingering look, letting her feel the weight of her mistake. Thanks, Kim. And with that, he turned and headed for the elevators.
But oh.
This was far from over. The real work begins. The second he stepped into his room, Jerome pulled out his laptop. This was his hotel, his empire, and some random-ass front desk clerk, had the audacity to treat him like he was a nobody?
Yeah. Nah.
Time to do some digging. First, internal records. Employee logs, guest complaints, manager reports, everything tied to this location. And guess what? Kim's name was everywhere. Front desk agent dismissed a guest complaint without logging it. Guest reported discrimination at check-in. Staff involved?
Kim.
Kim refused service to a guest, citing hotel policy, except she never provided actual documentation. Kim involved in multiple disputes over so-called system errors affecting reservations. Oh, this wasn't just incompetence. This was deliberate. And yet, she still had this job.
Why?
Jerome scrolled further. And there it was. The manager, Stephen Lane. A spineless, corporate yes-man, probably the type to avoid confrontation at all costs. Translation? Kim had been a problem for a long time, but nobody had the guts to do anything about it, which meant he had to do it himself. Time to handle business. Jerome strolled back into the lobby, slowly, deliberately, like he had all the time in the world.
Kim was still at the desk.
Probably thought she had dodged a bullet.
Wrong.
He didn't even glance at her, just walked right past and straight into the manager's office. Didn't knock. Didn't need to. Stephen Lane, middle-aged, balding, radiating peaked-in high school energy, looked up from his desk and immediately paled. And Mr. Wilson? What a surprise. Jerome shut the door behind him. Cut the bullshit, Stephen. We need to talk. Stephen swallowed.
Hard.
Oh, of course. What can I do? Do you know what's happening at your own damn front desk? Stephen blinked rapidly, already sweating. Well, I think everything is. Wrong answer. Jerome crossed his arms. I just had my own reservation deleted by one of your employees. Stephen's face drained of color. Wait, what? Who? Jerome grinned. Take a wild guess. Stephen's mouth opened.
Closed.
Opened again. It was Kim, wasn't it?
Ding, ding, ding.
Stephen winced. Listen, Mr. Wilson, I was going to handle it.
I swear.
But she's been CH. Jerome held up a hand. Shut up, Stephen. Stephen flinched. Jerome inhaled deeply, letting the silence hang. You've had complaints about her for months, probably years, and you did nothing. Stephen looked like a man facing execution. I thought maybe she just needed more training. Training? Jerome laughed. Actually laughed.
Dude.
This woman isn't some confused intern who forgot how to use the damn software. She's a problem. And she's your problem. Stephen looked like he wanted to melt into the floor. Jerome let out a long breath. Here's how this is going to go down, Stephen. You're going to walk out there and fire her.
Right now.
In front of everyone. Stephen's jaw dropped. All right now? But...
Right. Now.
For a second, Stephen hesitated. Then, realizing there was no escape, he nodded. 2 minutes later, the entire lobby watched as the hotel manager marched up to Kim and dropped the hammer. She tried to argue. Tried to cry. Tried to claim it was all a misunderstanding.
Didn't matter.
Her ass was out. Jerome stood nearby, arms crossed, watching the whole thing with a satisfied smirk. And as Kim stormed toward the exit, throwing one last hateful glance over her shoulder, he just smiled. Because the best part? She still had no idea who the hell he really was.